What makes a great coach? This video is part of a series of videos I'm doing about what is coaching, do I need coaching, what are some of the distinctions of coaching versus mentoring, etc. And today's video is all about specifically what makes a great coach. Okay, maybe now you've realized coaching might be helpful, it might be something you want to look into. What is it that you can be looking for that's going to help you actually move from where you are now to where you want to be and find that sense of empowerment within yourself? Welcome to the channel. I'm Kim Marie. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of the videos that I offer, all centered around the concept of finding the empowered woman within us so that we can be embodying the best of who we're here to be, okay? A couple of things to consider when determining what makes a great coach, okay? One of the first things is training. Now, the coaching industry is not regulated. You don't have to have a license to coach or call yourself a coach. I have mixed feelings about this, to be perfectly honest, because I value deeply life experience, and life experience is so much more powerful than any certification or degree. It's like having a PhD in life, right? Or a PhD in your selfhood. And ultimately, that's the greatest gift we can offer anyone. Okay, more so than some kind of document or anything else. However, I think the coaching industry has gotten a really bad rap because there are a lot of people out there calling themselves coaches because maybe they know a thing or two, but they're not really coaching from the standpoint of helping someone fully realize their potential, especially not from within who they are, finding the answers within themselves. And there are a lot of coaches out there who have their own agenda. I have been exposed to them as well. I know myself in growing my own business and coaching practice, I've run into coaches, people who call themselves coaches, who will say, oh, well, maybe you need a mindset shift because you just don't believe in yourself enough to do X, Y, Z to market your business. And as one of my mentors that I do love, as a business coach says, it's not that you have a bad mindset or you need to change your mindset. It's that you have a conscience, right? Maybe we don't want to market in these icky, sleazy, slimy ways, and a coach is trying to tell you, oh, you need to do that if you want to shift and grow. Or there can be people calling themselves coaches who are kind of pushing you toward their own agenda to do certain things a certain way without really connecting to who you are and what you care about and what you need and what your life path is. So it's really important to consider who they are, what their background is, and training is an important piece of that. Another thing I've experienced in my own coaching journey of hiring coaches and working with coaches is one of the aspects of training is that there's a certain amount of ethical training involved, like keeping confidentiality. You know, technically, as a coach, honoring those ethical codes, one should never be automatically saying who you're coaching, even saying the name of it. It's okay to talk about case studies and examples, but nameless, right? But some people go ahead and spout off, oh, I've coached so-and-so, or in this session with so-and-so. That's completely inappropriate. It's not acceptable to be telling other people who you've coached with and not to honor that confidentiality. And that's a super, super important thing to consider is, do they understand the nature of holding a sacred, safe space for you, okay? So looking for the training is important. Do they have to have certain specific certifications or not? I don't think that's necessarily true. I myself have coached out of my experience and my life, and I do have training, but I haven't chosen to pursue like some of the international certifications or other things like that. People will choose what they need. A lot of corporate coaches might require something like that, although I know plenty who don't use that. But it's really more about, are they trained? Do they understand how to be a coach? And are they really honoring you? The other piece is, like I've said before, this idea of experience, right? What makes a great coach is someone who's lived it, who's lived the experience and worked it, right? They're not just like walking the talk. In other words, they are, understanding a bunch of concepts. They're going to throw some things at you and share some experience with you, and then try their best to work it. It's more like they're talking the walk. In other words, they've come from this experience, they've walked it, And now they're talking it, like they're able to come and ask you the questions that are going to be really powerful. They're going to be able to share stories that might resonate and bring forth something deep within you. Okay, so that's something to consider. Another aspect of a great coach is their listening capacity, right? A great coach knows how to listen and give you space to feel very safe. And from that listening, they're able to ask very powerful questions. Those questions then help you think more deeply about how you're showing up, who you are, who you're becoming, who you want to become, right? What's blocking you, what's getting in your way, how you might be sabotaging yourself from within, or how certain relationships might be healthy or unhealthy for you. Whatever it is, there's so many powerful questions that can be asked to give us these light bulb moments that go, like my favorite thing as a coach is when someone says, I never thought of it that way. I never considered that perspective or idea, right? So you want to find someone who you feel is genuinely listening. I've interviewed people to coach me on certain topics in my own life, and I really look for that in a coaching interview. If someone is so busy talking at me rather than trying to get to know me and my situation or who I am, I know right away they have an agenda. They're trying to push something onto me. But if they're listening, if they're taking it in, if they're opening up to what I have concerns around, then I know they're probably going to, be there for me and hold space for me to be able to coach, to work with them as a coachee, right? Another aspect of a great coach is that they inspire you. Okay, a lot of times great coaches can be great role models, maybe because they are, talking the walk, they're living it day to day. You see something, you can learn something from them, and they have stories to share that inspire you. They have ways of seeing things that open you up and light you up. You feel something expanding within you when you're around them, okay? You notice that and you can feel that. If you feel contracted or in any way closed off or afraid to fully say and express yourself, you need to speak up, right? It may or may not be the coach's intention to be doing that. It may be that there are some things that are not understood. There's such an important piece of feeling safe in that space. If you don't feel safe in your coaching space, you're not going to be able to get anywhere with it. There's really no point. We need to have that sense of safety to move toward that sense of self-realization, okay? Another aspect of a great coach, in my opinion, we are dealing in this culture with a massive epidemic of codependency. Now, I'm not going to get into codependency in this video. I have a channel on that. I'm going to keep making more videos about codependency, but there's this aspect of within us and within those around us, we end up playing out this codependency triangle of the victim, the perpetrator, and the savior, okay? We want the victim to become a creator. We want the perpetrator to become more of an advocate or a challenger for us. And we want the savior to become more of a guide or a coach, right? So a great coach is going to be moving beyond those characteristics of codependency. They're not there to save you. They're not there to push you and say, oh, you just need to change your mindset because you're doing it wrong and like go and push. That's the perpetrator side, instead of this idea of helping to advocate for you or challenge you to see things from a new perspective. And they're definitely not showing up as a victim. They're going to show up as a creator who longs to see you create as well. So you want to look for those qualities in a coach, a coach that's going to challenge you, that's also going to guide you and encourage and inspire you, and then come at you from that place of creative thinking, creative ideas that help inspire the creator within you, okay? And finally, and maybe most importantly, a great coach is someone you resonate with. You want to resonate with whoever you choose to coach you, okay? Meaning, if you're hiring a coach that is more of a go, push yourself until you drop kind of thing, like if we use the athletic comparison here, and you are more of a quiet, I need to have, my quiet space. I need to meditate and focus on my mindset or whatever. And this coach is all about action and push yourself into, outside of your comfort zone in too much of a hurry. You need to resonate with the process. It's really important. Now, when I say resonate, remember the other things I said. We still want to be challenged. We still want to open ourselves up to new possibilities. We still want to be inspired. All of those things are super important. So you definitely do want to get out of your comfort zone. But there's also something to be said for your comfort zone. Who are you? Where do you feel you do your best work? How do you feel you do your best work? What makes you feel safe? So you want to resonate with the coach to make sure that all of that feels right to you. So I'd love to hear in the comments any questions you have about, how to determine a coach that you would have, or even any questions at all about this series that I'm doing around coaching. Have you had a bad experience with a coach? What has made a great coach to you? What has made an awful coach to you? I'd love to hear, and we can share with each other, because it makes such a difference when we're trying to expand ourselves, when we can learn from each other. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss the future videos. I'm going to do a whole series on this concept of coaching, what it's about, how to determine what you might need and understand it better. So thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.